Georgia grand jury recommended charging multiple people in Trump election probe for range of crimes, report says. The forewoman of the Georgia grand jury that investigated former President Donald Trump and allies for election interference in the 2020 presidential race said jurors urged a prosecutor to charge multiple people with a range of crimes. The forewoman, Emily Kohrs, was coy when asked if the grand jury had recommended charging Trump himself in connection with his efforts to overturn his election loss in Georgia, the New York Times reported. "You won't be too surprised," said Kohrs. The forewoman of the Georgia grand jury that investigated former President Donald Trump and allies for election interference in the 2020 presidential race said jurors recommended a prosecutor charge multiple people with a range of crimes, according to a new report Tuesday. The forewoman, Emily Kohrs, was coy when asked if the grand jury had urged in its final report to charge Trump himself in connection with his efforts to overturn his election loss in Georgia, the New York Times reported. "You're not going to be shocked. It's not rocket science," Kohrs said in the report in response to the question about charging Trump. "You won't be too surprised," added Kohrs, who did not immediately respond to a request for comment from CNBC. Kohrs told the newspaper that the number of people who the grand jury recommended being indicted is not a short list. But she would not identify them. "I will tell you that if the judge releases the recommendations, it is not going to be some giant plot twist," she told the Times. "You probably have a fair idea of what may be on there. I'm trying very hard to say that delicately." The names of people recommended for criminal charges, and the counts recommended in the grand jury's final report, remain sealed by judicial order. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has yet to announce whether she will indict people in the probe. But a portion of the grand jury's report that was made public last week noted that jurors had concluded that one or more witnesses may have lied under oath when they testified to the panel last year. The grand jury recommended that Willis pursue criminal perjury indictments in those cases. "I fully stand by our report as our decision and our conclusion," Kohrs told the Associated Press in an interview. Willis has investigated Trump, his campaign lawyers and others since early 2021 for their attempts to reverse his loss to President Joe Biden in Georgia. Trump has denied any wrongdoing.